Hey friend, and so glad you're joining us once again in our Lenten journey. Today is day 20 for us, and we have officially hit our halfway mark, and we're excited about it. Join me in Genesis chapter 22. I'm going to begin reading verse 5 today. Genesis chapter 22. I want to again read verse 5. It says these words. He said to the servants, "Stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there." The phrase, "we'll be right back after this," was once a familiar and comforting part of television programming. It was a promise made by TV announcers to reassure the audience that after a brief interruption for commercials, that the show would continue on. This short, often mundane break gave viewers a moment to pause, but ultimately left them with the assurance that the entertainment would resume at some time. It was a simple, almost informal contract between the announcer and the viewer. Endure just a few minutes of this commercial, and your program would be right here waiting for you. It created a sense of anticipation, of trust, and of continuity. Well, in a similar way today, we encounter a pivotal moment in the Bible. In Genesis chapter 22, verse 5, with Father Abraham. Abraham's journey has made and led him up to a mountain with his son Isaac, and he's laden with profound emotional weight and with deep faith. Abraham has been commanded by God to sacrifice his son, Isaac, on the altar atop the mountain. The narrative itself is heart-wrenching. It's full of sacrifice. It's about obedience, and it's focusing on unwavering trust in God. As Abraham prepares to ascend the mountain, he tells his servants, "We'll be right back after this." At first glance, it may seem like an odd statement in this context, especially when Abraham's mission seems so dire and his future is so uncertain. However, the significance of Abraham's words lies in the profound faith he expresses. He does not say, "I'll be right back." Instead, he says, "We'll be right back." In the face of what appears to be an unimaginable situation, Abraham expresses his belief that both he and Isaac will return. Friends, this subtle yet powerful statement highlights Abraham's complete trust in God. He believes that regardless of the difficulty of the test he's facing, that God will provide a way for him and his son to return safely. Even in the darkest moments, Abraham knows that God's promises are sure, and he speaks with certainty of their return. His faith in God is so unshakable that he does not doubt for a moment that God's plan will be fulfilled, even when it doesn't seem like it, even when it feels impossible. Abraham's faith is so powerful that it serves as a reminder for us in our own lives that we will face challenges. And we're going to face some trials and moments when God's plan seems unclear or difficult to accept. It can feel like we are caught in the middle of a cliffhanger, unsure of what will happen next, and waiting for the next chapter to unfold. However, just as the TV announcer would assure viewers that the show would return after a brief break, we are reminded that God is not done with our story either. The narrative of our lives is still being written, and he is faithful to complete the good work that he has begun inside of you. Even when we are called to step into difficult or seemingly hopeless situations, it's critical to remember that God is with us. His call comes with his provision, his strength, and his promise to guide us through. Hear me, we may not understand it. We may not get, and we may not be certain on certain things happening in our life or understand what the outcome will be, but we can trust in the one who holds the future in his hands. When God calls us to walk through challenging seasons, he does not abandon us halfway. Just as Abraham believed that he and Isaac would return, we too can trust that God will bring us through the trials that we face. Friends, Abraham's story is a powerful example of what it means to trust God completely. As he ascends to the mountains, leaving behind his servants and his donkey, he leaves us with a sense of anticipation, as though the episode of his life is far from over. There was a pause in the story, friends, but it's not the end of the story. The story is still unfolding. Even in the midst of confusion and in the midst of sadness and in the midst of uncertainty, God is still at work. God is still writing our story. God is still renewing our hope, and God is still guiding us toward a greater purpose. We'll be right back after this. The season of struggle, friends, is not permanent, and the story is not canceled. Just as Abraham trusted that the end of his story was not yet revealed, you and I must also trust that God holds the end of our story. We may not know how our trials would end, but we can be confident in God, who knows the beginning and the middle and the end. Abraham's faith teaches us to walk confidently, even when the path is unclear, because we know that God is faithful and he will bring us through the other side. Friends, I'm done, but may we learn from Abraham's courage and faith today that even when the road ahead seems uncertain, may we stand firm in the knowledge that God is not done with us. He holds our story in his hands, and his faithfulness will see us through the very end. No matter how dark or difficult the circumstance may seem, we can trust that God will bring us back better than before and ready to show the world the power of our unwavering faith in him. Friends, today be reminded that God's promises stand true and they stand tall in our life. Friends, we're on this 40-day intentional journey in the midst of Lent. And as we journey to the cross, we're learning what it means for us to put it all on his altar. Keep joining us Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m., or you can catch the replay at any time. And friends, you can do that on our social media platforms, on our website, on our JWC app. We're thankful that you're joining us in this journey together, and pray that we'll see you on tomorrow.